Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning. Happy Sunday. I'm Dustin. I've got my coffee. I also have a gigantic Stanley knockoff full of water and some electrolytes. Mm. I am day number 6 in my 7-day fast. Welcome, 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 all of you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. What I want to talk about today is how excited I am for 2024. We're already in the thick of it. I have a lot of goals. I want to build this community, make this community stronger, bigger, more better, more better, more betterer. You know what I'm trying to say, right? This morning, while I was getting myself together, I ran across the channel uh, hosted by a woman calling herself Nadia. Now, in the pinned comment, I'm asking for questions, topics of discussion that you want to discuss while we're live together today, why we're spending this time together today. I have put her link in there in the description, or a link in that pinned comment as well. So if we could go over, like, subscribe. She's got 2 carnivore challenge videos up thus far. She's kind of a nomad traveler. From what I can tell, she's got just a handful of videos up. She's only got 100 and some subscribers. She's new to this. I figure if she's new to this and she's trying to do carnivore, she's doing what she calls a 14-day commitment to herself outside of a challenge. Now, in her video, she is calling it a challenge because obviously that's going to be something that people recognize. But in her video, she called it a commitment. And I really, really liked that it hit home with me because commitments to ourselves are far more important than a challenge to somebody else. Just like in the new year, I want to make sure we're focusing on our goals, we're focusing on consistency, and not just focusing on a frivolous resolution that we do year in and year out that we fail and fail time and time again. Because I feel that if we can be just consistent, if we can make goals and we can be true to ourselves, we can be truly successful. Now, with that being said, that little bit of information out of the way, I want to go ahead and talk about you lovely people who are in the chat with me today. We have Carrie Whitebread is here. Thank you so very much. I appreciate you very much. We have Mr. Gugahan. He says, good morning. Have his coffee ready to go. I have my coffee, which is just 4 shots of espresso with some ice in it. Well, the ice is gone now. Just to cool it down because I don't have any cream in it, because typically my coffee is espresso and cream because I'm bougie. Mm. All right. Delicious. So I got my water, I got my coffee. I have you wonderful people hanging out with me. It's the best part of my week is hanging out with you. John says awesome on the fast. Yeah, so I'm going to be recording a day 5 and 6 video after this is done today, and that'll be up sometime later today, so be on the lookout for that. Tomorrow I will film a day 7 wrap up, my thoughts, my outlook on fasting as I do these once a year, twice a year. I do, little fast throughout the year as well, dependent on what is going on in my life and what I need and how I can leverage them to make me successful. Okay. So we've got Brenda Foley in the house. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you very much. Bruce, howdy, folks. Hello, Bruce. Thank you for being here. John is asking, how am I feeling fasted for 6 days? Well, today I got out of bed and I felt a little sore, which is not the fasting, I don't think. I don't think it's a fasting issue. I think it was the way I slept because sometimes Chandra and I like crunch together when we sleep together because it's cold. And she's got a heated blanket, so I scooch close because don't share blankets. Because if we did, I would have no blankets. So we have our own blankets. So she has a heated blanket that's really for two people because it's got dual zones. So it's really for two people to set the heat level that they want. But she uses that, and that's okay. And then she's got a quilt, and then I have a comforter. Sometimes I put my comforter on her too, just because sharing is caring. But yeah, so I think it was just I slept weird last night. I crashed hard. Um, you know, yeah. So as far as Shelly is here, good morning, everyone. I am going to just be ear hustling while she gets ready for her vacation. We're leaving for Vegas in a few hours. Woo! All right. What are you looking forward to? I know you're not going to be able to really type this out, but if you get a moment, just kind of give us a one or two things you're really excited for in Vegas. I love they have In-N-Out Burger. I don't know where you are if you have those all the time or not. They have a lot of cool food options out there, and I think if I went to Vegas, I would be more eager to partake in some of the non-keto stuff. I know I've been to Carmine's, which is just a family style pasta place, which was delicious. Years when I went there before keto. I was there in 2015. Last time I was in Vegas. I used to go every 3 years, but as things progress, those type of traditions kind of go by the wayside. Now we're going, on more family style vacations to Alabama, Gulf Shores, um, Colorado to visit family, going to Disney with the family, that type of stuff. So, yeah, all those kind of things kind of fall to the wayside. Just being able to go to Vegas with friends and such goes by the wayside when kids and grandkids and all that stuff are involved. But good luck, Shelly. I know that there is going to be a good amount of people that are going on the 2KK cruise coming up very soon. I know my good friend Jennifer Lucas is going, and I did want to give her a shout out today because she is our newest channel member. She's probably not listening or watching right now, but I just want to put a huge thanks and put your names on the bottom of the screen for those who are channel members. I do appreciate each and every one of you. It truly means the world to me. All right. So, yeah, coffee. I had a wonderful talk yesterday with Maitreya. We talked for about an hour and a half, give or take. I could have talked to her for a couple more hours, but she had stuff to do. I had stuff to do. So that's what you get. Next Saturday, make sure you are setting your reminders, setting your calendars, setting alarms. I am going to be having Mr. Logan Delgado on from the YouTubes, Mr. Goody Beats himself. He is a huge inspiration to me. His positivity, his consistency, his drive, his passion, they're all huge to me because he was one of the first YouTubers that I found when I started my ketogenic journey back in 2016. And he always had these very lovely, intros to his videos, the music. He used drone footage. He was doing all the things in YouTube, and I just loved it. So I'd watch all his videos, and he was always so positive, supportive, and pushing, the community forward. And he's done so much for the community. He's basically involved in, I don't know if he's part owner, and that'll be something we can discuss on Saturday. His actual involvement in the company Bio Coach used to be Keto Coach. I have somewhere on my desk one of their ketone blood meters. You got to prick your finger and, and do all that stuff and check your ketones. I don't use that very often, but I think it's a good tool to have if you're curious, if you're looking to see what is what with your ketones. So he will be here next Saturday. I'm super excited. So start thinking of questions you have for him. He's a family man. He loves his family, his kids, his wife, his brother, his dad, all kinds of stuff. If you don't follow him, he's got a wonderful Instagram. He doesn't post as much YouTube content as he used to, but he does post a lot of shorts where he's doing the hard work that we're not doing, trying all kinds of different things and drinking things and eating things that mess up his blood glucose just for us to see the readings. So keep an eye on him. If you're not familiar, follow him, get ready. It's going to be an awesome conversation. And I have been looking forward to talking to him for a good long while. So we've got some more wonderful comments and questions in here. We have Bruce with a question. What do I plan on eating to break my fast? Wonderful question. So I have some bougie, well, it's Aldi uh, butter. I have some Aldi Irish butter, and I've got some beef broth. So I'm going to have beef broth with a whole lot of butter in it. I'm going to whisk it up. It's going to be real good. Looking forward to that. So that'll be what I break my fast with and probably be my first meal the day after my fast ends. Because when you do a longer fast, you want to reincorporate food very slowly. And that's a mistake that I've made over the years. Now, when you're doing 7-day fast, like something like refeeding syndrome is probably not a necessarily a concern. But when you are doing extended fast, your digestive system does sort of start to take a break. It does sort of start to shut down. I have done fast 14, 15, 21 days as well. And when you get to those points, you really want to be sure that you are being extremely careful with how you reintroduce food. And you want to do as much research and maybe talk with a physician, a doctor, as I am not one of those things. This is not medical advice, as I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a nurse or anything like that. Just sharing my own experiences with you. So I will be doing it slowly, and then I'll have maybe a little bit of eggs on the second day for a later meal, and then as I reintroduce that, I'm gonna have ground beef, beef. We've got steaks, we've got beef, we've got chicken, we've got eggs. I'm stocked up. I went and got 10 dozen eggs. I got a bunch of steaks as Walmart had their prime rib roast on sale on clearance. And I bought a couple of those and cut those into ribeye steaks because I'm a much bigger fan of ribeye that are nice and seared and all that over prime rib. I know it's heresy. I'm not a big fan of prime rib. It tastes like, when you get a prime rib, it tastes like a ham. I want a steak that tastes like steak. I want my coffee to taste like coffee, my steak to taste like steak. Anyway, Mr. Bruce, thank you for that question because it is very important. It is good to know how to end your fast is to not eat too much because you want your digestive system to slowly kind of come back online and you don't want to bog it down because then I feel bloated and it just takes a while to kind of process. Jeremiah was a bullfrog, but he was a good friend of mine. Jeremiah is a friend of mine. He lives down the street from me. He is dipping his toe into our community, if you will. Welcome him with open arms. He has been to one of our meetups. He did photography for our first big keto meetup. He took a lot of pictures for us, and I thank him so very much. And welcome him. Shelly is saying that she is Cirque Soleil as far as food. We're looking at a lot of options, trying to be 80-20 keto. If there's something I want to try, I will. 100%. And that's the thing is consistency. We don't go on vacations very often. We don't get to try new things very often. Like if I were to go to, some place overseas, I'd be like street food and all that stuff. Yes, please. So, I mean, like every once in a while, we like to go get sushi, with the rice. It's not very often that we get to go do that. So when we do, we indulge. And again, that's part of consistency. Oh, she's saying that she's got In and Out right now at her house a couple of years ago. We have reservations at Hell's Kitchen for shows. We were let's see, so they're going to Cirque du Soleil. We're going to Wow, the circus type show, and the show at the Sphere tomorrow. The Sphere, my buddy got tickets and went to see U2 at the Sphere. He paid like an obscene amount of money to go. An obscene amount of money. We're talking like over four figures to go see this show. He said it was unreal. It was like the closest thing that we've got to a holodeck at this point. Um, I would love to go see a show there. I don't think U2 would be the band that I would choose. I think if Roger Waters were to come back, I think someone like Roger Waters could really pull it off. If you're not familiar, he is one of the founding members of Pink Floyd. I think they would be ridiculous as a show like that. Or even maybe if you could get Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr together and do some sort of Beatles tribute with, with digital accompaniment by, a digital George Harrison and a um, John Lennon. I think that would be ridiculous. Ticket prices would be astronomical. You'd have to be a billionaire to go, but I think it would be amazing to see. I couldn't afford to go, but it would be awesome. So, yeah. John says he loves his positivity and always has a smile on his face. 100%. He's always, you woke up this morning, you're winning, fam. And that's one of those things that I love about him. And I'm excited to talk with him. Favorite steak is rump. Rump shaker. Cindy is here. Good morning. Good morning, Cindy. I'm glad you're here. I would be sad if you didn't make it. Would cry in my Cheerios. Jen Delaney. She's watching on high speed, so I sound like a chipmunk. Do I sound like do I sound like Alvin, Simon, or Theodore? Do 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 new 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 new. Anyway, that's what I got. Big Bob is in the house. Good morning, sir. How are you? About to Rockstar? You're about to go to Rockstar? Yeah. Oh, how about Rockstar? What about Rockstar? I'm not sure what's going on here. I don't know. I don't know what about rock. I'm not sure I understand the full extent of that. If you could put something else in the comments and help me out with that, I would have greatly appreciate it. Yeah, yeah. You know I got nothing but love for you. Yeah, Nicole is here. Good morning, friends. Shouldn't be having Cheerios. I know. I don't even have any Cheerios in the house. I do have some kind of like I do have some keto cereals. I have keto cereals in the house, but they're not very good. And they're like a last ditch. I really want something and I'm like struggling. And I just want something to put in my face hole where I shouldn't, where like my resolve is wearing thin and I just need something. That's where like having a keto cereal in the house kind of comes into play. But otherwise, I mean, just eating them normal, I'm like, they're all crunchy. But yeah, the I don't know, the new ones they sell at Walmart, the like $10 a box, those ones are actually pretty good as far as cereal is concerned, but they make you so gassy. For like 2 days, I'm like anyway, that's not what you paid to see here. But anyway. Oh, Bob, when do we want to go to Rockstar again? Maybe sometime in February because full all January is carnivore month for me. I'm trying to stay consistent as long as I can, but I would always love a good trip to Rockstar. So let's look at see if we could do something for February. Maybe that'd be fun. Coffee. I am looking forward to maybe putting some butter in my coffee. See how so like the whole. Let me know in the comments. Have you tried the butter and eggs in your coffee, like Two Crazy Ketos talk about? It's almost like a carnivore version of like bulletproof coffee. Have any of you tried that? I've tried it. It didn't seem as creamy as you would think. It's not as weird as you would think either. Um, I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Have you tried that, and what are your thoughts? Also, what are some of your goals for this year? Be it health, family, professional, excuse me, professional, whether it's YouTube, something with your job. What kind of goals have you set for yourself? Even if it's weight loss, if it's, be more consistent, try something new, try carnivore or, do, a carnivore challenge, or like I said at the very beginning of this, Nadia, a new channel that I found today. And if you check the pinned comment, her channel is there. So if all of you would do me a solid, check out her channel. She's got 2 carnivore videos right now. They're relatively short. Take a look at those, share them out, help her grow her channel. She's got like 100 and a couple of subscribers. Um, She's like a nomadic person. I just really want to help grow the community. Anytime I run across somebody who's new and got some cool content, I'm going to share it out with you. And I hope you do the same with me. Anybody you find that I may not know about, share with me. You know how to get a hold of me. You can email me. You can hit me up on Facebook Messenger if if we're tight like that. Um, Instagram Messenger is a wonderful way to reach out to me. You can always comment on one of my things in Facebook. I have a Facebook, which is Facebook at Keto Simple Indy, which is short for Indianapolis, where I live and reside. So, what are your goals? What are you looking forward to in 2024? What are you glad you're leaving behind in 2023? I think that's an important question as well. What are you looking forward to? What are you glad you're leaving behind? Oh, now tomorrow. Now let me tell you about this. Tomorrow is our granddaughter's first day of preschool. I imagine, knowing this, some of you will be taking bets on not whether or not I do or do not cry, but how long I cry. I imagine you all will be kind of thinking about that because you know I'm a big old softy. I am a big old softy. And she told me the other day, she said, "Paul, I want Ma to walk me into school my first day, not you." Now, I don't know if she really means that because she's 5 and she says mean things to me all the time. But we will be taking her and picking her up from school Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope that she makes friends because she's been hanging out with a bunch of old people most of her life. She has a couple of cousins, but they don't see each other as often as they should. So she needs to socialize with girls her own age or kids her own age, really, for that matter. She is at that stage where I don't like you, Paul, because you're a boy. You're not a girl. That's where she's at right now. And I'm okay with that. You know, Cindy says she started carnivore on the 2nd, weighed in that morning, did measurements and such, do my weekly weighing in yesterday, and as my usual day, I'm down 5.8 pounds since the 2nd. Wonderful job. Wonderful, wonderful. That is amazing, Cindy. How do you feel? How does doing carnivore thus far, how do you feel? And as I get to this, we'll see. I'm sure she's answered that already. I want to socialize more movement. I want to work harder with her quilt guild for charity. That sounds awesome. I was thinking about that the other day. As like, because Chandra uses a quilt. I had a quilt when I was a kid that one of my great aunts made for me. My great aunt Bonnie. She was my great grandmother's sister. So I don't even know how that. Like she's like my great aunt or great aunt or I don't know what something. She was my great grandmother's sister. As I've told you before, I did spend a lot of time with my great grandparents growing up. I was lucky to have them in my life until I was about 20. Well, my great grandmother passed away in 2000, which I was 19, turning 20. No, did I turn 20 in 99? I think I turned 20 in 99. I can't remember. I don't know. Anyway, they were around, and then my great grandfather didn't pass away till 2005. But he had been in a nursing home with dementia, so wasn't really there, but I did have him in my life. But have been lucky to have a lot of wonderful family in my life. And now that part of my family is all pretty much gone. I just have my brother. But Shander has, four siblings, 3 sisters and a brother. So I've kind of adopted them. They have kids. They all live all over the country. So it's kind of an exciting part of our life to go visit them, whether it's Wisconsin, Colorado, the other side of town, you know. Cindy says that sleeping better feels better. Yes. And if you're not sleeping well, maybe you need a little bit of magnesium. I did buy some magnesium tablets off of Amazon, but me being me, I should know better. But I bought some magnesium tablets for my fasting. Get them from Amazon because they delivered them in a day. And I look at it and they've got rice flour in them. So that won't be something too big of a deal on occasional basis if I'm utilizing those during my normal days, but a fasting, that's not where I want to be. So there's that. So those are just sitting still in the bottle. I haven't tried them, but I do have some coffee and I do have an unflavored element in here. Ah, yes. Let's see. John Gugahan says, my goal is to move more. Last week I jogged, walked 3 days, and rode my bike between 6 and 7 miles 2 days. Keep that going. How do you make the commitment to yourself? How do you find that consistency? How do you find the commitment to yourself to find the motivation to do that? It's like what's if you're not familiar with David Goggins, he is like a motivational potty mouth motivational speaker. He was Navy SEAL. Um, he's been on Rogan a few times. He's got his own podcast, I think. He's one of those like in your face motivational speakers, runs ultra marathons, runs hundreds of miles just on a whim, will go run 40 miles. But he says, in the morning when he gets up and he wants to go for a run, he'll get up and he won't want to do it. He won't. He just won't want to do it. But he sits there and he stares at his shoes for 30 minutes before he puts them on and goes out the door. Have I taken that up and done that? No. I'm not an athletic person. I don't know if I ever will be. I am planning on a push up commitment to myself because I've never been able to do a push up. And if you saw the Saturday talk that I did with semi retired Bob, we talked about push ups and how to utilize my staircase. And I'm going to be trying that. I'm going to try to film that and make some content out of that because, as funny as it's going to be to see me try doing that, hopefully I will get stronger. I will find success, but that is a commitment that I've made to myself that in 2024, I want to be able to do a full push up. I've never been able to do one in my entire life, not even when I was a skinny, scrawny little kid in like kindergarten, first grade, when I was like super tiny wearing slims. And as I said to Sana, Cindy, and Lindsay Murphy on the live that they were doing Friday night, when I was born, I was 5 pounds 1 ounce. Yep. I've made some headway. I've gained some weight. Here we are. Let's see some more. Let's see. Nicole said she's glad to be leaving behind 65 pounds, looking to lose that last 20 in 2024. You will succeed if you are consistent, you will succeed. Now, the pound number is kind of arbitrary, and I know that we struggle and we look at that number and we've got to hit that number. But no, look at how you feel. Look at how your clothes fit, but just not be super focused, especially when you get down towards the end. In the very beginning, it is something that you want to, like for me, I'm, back over 300 pounds. I got down to 273 pounds and I lost my way over the pandemic because my whole life shifted. I was a person that was out every day, going to work, not being home as often, to being home almost consistently throughout the day, almost always at home. So that and the world shutting down and coping with not being around people and being a social person that I am, and that has totally shifted my mindset to where for me it is now difficult to go out and do things where I was always chomping at the bit to go do something, and if I didn't get to do it I was bummed. And now I'm almost happy if someone cancels plans. Like I made plans a couple of weeks ago to go out to lunch with a friend, and he called the night before and said he had caught something and wasn't feeling good, he was going to have to postpone. And as much as I wanted to see my friend, I was like, that means I can stay home tomorrow. I don't have to leave the house. And I know that's not where I want to be. I want to be more social, but I've also made other commitments to myself and my family and things that need to happen in the home. So I can't just go and do more things outside of the home. I have I have to make because I have a lot of commitments, a lot of irons in the fire. So Jen is saying that my dancing and bebopping was hilarious at high speed. You are very welcome. Thank you so very much. How did your pizza dip turn out? How was it received? I want to know. Nicole says she spent a lot of time with her great grandmother too. I was actually born when my great grandma. Let's see. I was born when my great great grandmom and great grandmom and yeah were alive. I didn't see my great great grandparents, but the granddaughter knew my her great great grandmother. So my grandmother, my grandma Cade, got to spend a good a little about 3.5 years with our granddaughter. My grandmother passed away when she was 90, like back in 2022. So she passed in 2022 in August of 22, um, a week after she turned 90. I think she had that goal to hit 90, and she met that goal. She had cancer and she'd beat cancer years ago, and then it had come back, and then when she just kind of too old to kind of fight it off. Or really, I don't even know if she cared to fight it off at that point. Um, but she got to spend a lot of time with the granddaughter, and I got to spend a lot of time with her. We were very close, especially because my mother passed away in 2013. So, um, which is a driving factor. The way my mother passed away is a major driving factor to why I do what I do now with this channel, this community, myself, my loved ones, because I don't want people to think that that's the way that you have to that it doesn't have to be that way for everybody. So, anyway, Cindy says she has about 25 pounds that she would like to lose. I do my electrolytes as well as taking magnesium every night. And you sleep like a baby. I mean, babies sleep and wake up every 2 hours. I sleep like a teenager. I really do. I can sleep like a teenager. 20 hours. If you let me sleep, I can sleep all day. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you all for subbing to Nadia. I hope because she's looking for more subscribers. I don't know if she's looking for a community, but hopefully a community will find her and then she will understand the importance of that. I know we'll find out, I guess. Jeremiah said he got some resistance bands and wants to try using that this year. Uh, Watching Pat Mac. Interesting. I still need to take you shopping, Jeremiah, because I think you guys don't know how to shop. I still always wanted to do that where I wanted to do a service where I would teach people how to shop, how to look at their labels and look at things when they're shopping and compare and contrast different items and looking at two, three different items and kind of coming to a conclusion of what the best one is. Like looking at ingredients because we're not always going to find perfection in the ingredients we're looking for, but we can always look at and kind of see like what's there, what we should be concerned with, what we shouldn't be concerned with, and just learning how to navigate a grocery store because it is very confusing. I have a video that I need to edit this today of a product I found at the grocery store that on the front was pretty neat. Keto, paleo, high fat, all this stuff. And you look at the back and you're like, that makes literally no sense. Like, it looks like a monkey did it. I don't know. You'll see the video and you'll understand. It'll be a short. It'll be a short video. It'll be a short because it's just a product and the little products I find. When you're looking at the front of the label, you've got to look at the back of the label and they don't always match. So yeah. Jen Delaney says she wants to do better for herself in 2024. After her fast and a few days of eating right, I already feel better mentally. Yes. And it is kind of funny how when we are doing better mentally, we feel good and then we kind of like start longing for some of the things that we may be missing in life. And I do this is for my own, this is just me talking because this is how I feel. Like I want pizza. Like I've been fasting and I've been watching, YouTube content about things that I want to eat, even if they're not on plan. I've been watching Dave Portnoy's one bite pizza, reviews. One bite, everybody knows the rules. I find him obnoxious, but I like, seeing him eat pizza that I'm never going to eat. He's in Massachusetts and he's in New York and New Jersey. and he's all over the country eating pizza that places that I'm probably never going to go to eat pizza. But I enjoy it. Or watching somebody who is in England eating at a Gordon Ramsay pizza place. But I didn't even know he had a pizza place. But in England, Gordon Ramsay has a pizza place, and it's all you can eat for 17 quid. And the guy went in, and the challenge, the challenge was a food challenge, how many slices of pizza you could eat. And the record for was 38 slices of pizza. Well, he ate that and then ate 10 more. So he basically he ate that and then ate another pizza. Crazy, 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 crazy. But I find myself watching that stuff when I'm fasting. I don't know why, just where I'm at. John says he's proud of himself on Wednesday because I planned to walk and jog before going to work and got up a little late. I forced myself to do it after work and I really didn't feel like it, but I was glad that I did. Yes. I had some. I think I had some. I actually didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. I was just looking at my go-to is to look at Amazon, and I should have got some. I probably will order some Keto Chow Mag Caps. I just completely forgot about it, to be honest. I'll probably order some after this video or after this live. Um, yeah, I'm a dum dum sometimes. I just I don't know why I didn't do that. Anyway, that's where I'm at with that. Cindy says when she was born, she weighed 10 pounds, 12 and a half ounces. My older two sons weighed 10 pounds, 5 ounces, and my other was 7 pounds, 14 ounces. I was teeny tiny. My mom called me a little turd bird. I don't know why I told you that, but here we are. Cindy congratulating Jen. Amazing how eating and fasting changes things so much. 100%. And Brenda says that's how she feels exactly. Enjoy staying home. I was always out going to shows and seeing bands play and visiting with friends and now it's kind of gotten to the point where everybody's going off and doing things and they've got their own families because right now Shannon and I are based, we're empty nesters and all of our kids have or all of our kids, all of our friends are just starting to have kids. Chandra started having kids, very early. She had her first kid when she was 18, and now here we are in our mid 40s, and we're empty nesters already and have a granddaughter. So we have more flexibility, more freedom, and we're really getting to enjoy that. With the job that Chandra has, and how we've integrated myself into our life, our routine and all of that. We get to really enjoy the time together. Um, and a lot of people don't even really get to do that until retirement. And I always want to say that you always want to enjoy as much of your life as you can as you go, because you're not always guaranteed retirement or, that time, because time is what it is. So, Jen says she had a lot of fun at Autumn's yesterday playing games, and the pizza dip was a huge hit. Richard was very thankful I left the rest with him. Yes. He said we became best friends. I'll have to wait till we see each other again to see if that's true. Um, I don't know how Autumn feels about him having best friends. um, she's very protective over Richard, it seems. But yeah, I'd like to have her and him sit down and talk with me on one of my Saturdays. I just don't know if they would be interested or not. I guess I can always reach out and ask. I would like to kind of get Richard by himself. I think that would be interesting. Have him by himself and her by herself, because I think they're almost all like always see them together. So that would be interesting. The same reason I would love to have Joe and Rachel separate. Have Rachel on and talk, and then Joe talk, because I think that would be something that would be interesting. And Cindy says when Brian's head hits the pillow, he's out snoring within seconds. That's so Chandra gets upset with me. She has this rule in the house: I'm not allowed to go to sleep or bed without her. We go to bed at the same time. Now, I mean, there's always exceptions to that rule, like if we're not feeling good or we're sick or whatever. But yeah, I mean, because I'll be rubbing on her back and I'll just she'll get mad because I'm like rub, rub, rub. And she's like, "That's not what I wanted. I wanted you to put effort in and rub my back." And I do the best that I can. But, Jen says, "For anyone who's looking to start out, I love this channel. They are a couple who do all sorts of levels and types of links of videos." I'll have to take a look at that and see what that's all about. Cindy subbed. Wonderful, wonderful. My siblings weighed in order 8, 10, 12. She was very worried when pregnant with me. I came out at 6. Yeah. See, I'm the oldest, you know. I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest. And I think my brother was bigger, maybe. I can't remember. I'm not sure how much he weighed. If he pops in here, he'll tell me maybe. But you never know. You know. Anyway, let's take a look. Brenda says she was adopted. So jealous. You know your birth weight. I don't have that info. The things we take for granted. Yeah. I had friends that were adopted growing up, and, you know, I mean, I can't say that I know what it's like, but yeah, I mean, I think you can. Can't you pull those records maybe from the hospital? I mean, if you know like where you were born, like if you have a birth certificate, it'll tell you where you're born and all that stuff. I think you should be able to have access to that. There's birth records. I don't know, to be honest with you, but it would be something maybe to look into. But yeah, um, I did. So I got this knockoff Stanley Cup from Walmart. It was on clearance. It was not $45 like the Stanleys. This was like $8, I think, on clearance. But the straw it came with was garbage, so we ordered some new ones from Amazon. And while I like the steel straws, I always hit my teeth on them, so I'm glad they come with these little rubber things. Ugh. Air frying auntie. She says, "Good morning from California. Too early to be up. But you're here. We're thankful for that. I imagine that you are bright eyed and bushy tailed and ready to tackle whatever the day throws at you today, right? I'm sure you are. I'm glad you're here." She probably doesn't want to be awake yet. Oh, yes. So it's Sunday. It's early morning. You haven't had any coffee yet? Rude. So yesterday I posted on my Facebook. It was make me choose between two bands. So if any of you have any of those, maybe you can ask that and see what my response is. Ask between two bands, and I will if I'm familiar with them. But I know a lot of stuff, so you know, I asked that, and I got a lot of responses. Some good ones too, some tough ones. Like one I'm still contemplating. I haven't even answered yet. It was, what do I like better? Like, who would I choose between Clutch and Alice in Chains? And Alice in Chains, if you're not familiar, is one of those bands that they were early 90s. They started off actually kind of like a heavy metal band, if you will, like heavy metal. Like they kind of came after the hair metal, but kind of they were a little more aggressive than the hair metal, but they came in with the vocal harmonies that were just like haunting. Some of the most haunting vocal melodies of any group that I've ever heard. And they came in and it was just amazing with the way that Jerry Cantrell and Lane Staley were able to throw their vocals together and just create such wonderful music. And then you have a band like Clutch, which I've been into since the 90s, and I've seen them 25 times now. I never got to see Alice in Chains as a band. I did see Jerry Cantrell with Sean Kinney on drums in 1998. So I saw half of Alice in Chains. And then Lane Staley passed away in 2000, 2001. But Clutch, I've seen 25 times. I've seen them in Colorado, Illinois, Ohio. Uh, I don't know. I've seen them all over the place. So they're one of my all-time go-to live bands. Whenever they play somewhere near where I'm going to be, I will do my best to go see them. So that's one of those things that makes it so very difficult for me to choose between those two, and I'm still contemplating. I have to go back eventually and make that decision. Then a friend of mine asked me what my choice was between Fiona Apple and Tori Amos, which I'm not quite sure which one I like better. The only thing I could think of is Fiona Apple had that song "Criminal," and I'm not really familiar with what Fiona Apple sings. So based on that information, I'll probably have to go with Fiona Apple, which will probably make her upset, which she'll just have to deal with because she loves me and she'll have to deal with it. But anyway, morning, Shauna. Hi, Brenda. All right. What do you have going on this week that you're excited about? We have our Tuesday live coming up. I have to watch First Blood Part 2, which is the Rambo movie. Last week, we tackled First Blood on my friend's channel, and it was a way deeper, darker type discussion than we've had before on that channel. But because if you really take a look at how that movie is and how when that movie came out, what people were going through, what veterans were going through, how he was treated in that movie, and if you can like kind of extrapolate the context and all of that. But yeah, Shauna says she can smell the coffee. The Golden Globes are on tonight. I'm not sure. What are the Golden Globes? Are they like TV? Are they like it's an award show like the Emmys? But I'm not sure what the Golden Globes are for. I've never been an award show type person because even with like with the Grammys, most of the bands that I've ever really been into, if they're gonna be nominated for a Grammy, it's done before the show ever starts. Because like the best heavy metal performance will be like at 4 o'clock in the afternoon before anybody's ever there. They do the ceremony, then they release it as just a blurb. So and so won the Grammy. Like when Ghost won a Grammy, or I think Mastodon's won Grammys, but nobody knows because they don't put it on the show, which is not cool, man. It's not cool. Okay, so I'm curious. I tried to go to a chiropractor. I went to a couple of times to a chiropractor that I found here in Indy. And I was very disappointed with the level of like care that I received from this chiropractor. He would kind of like touch on me a little, like rub my like just kind of touch my back a little bit. He would pop my neck, and then he would have like, then he was like putting me on this machine. He never really did a whole lot of anything. And maybe it's just the YouTube chiropractors that I see where they do the whole rundown every time you go in. Where, they're like popping your back every which way from loose, and they're always like popping your ankles and your hips, and they're doing all this stuff. And I did reach out to Dr. Brenda Mondragon. If you're not familiar with her, she has a huge channel. She is based in Florida. I reached out to her. The only way you can contact her in her office is through Instagram because she has such a big following on YouTube that I imagine that the phone calls would be never ending. You should probably get 10,000 calls a day or 1,000 calls a day or whatever would be unmanageable. So the only way to reach out is through Instagram Messenger, which I did twice over the course of a year. They're like, if you message too much, we won't see you or whatever. But I knew in February we were going to be in Florida in October. So I reached out and then I said, I'm going to be here and this will be some days that will possibly work for me. And I never heard back, which she's a very thorough. She does a lot of the soft tissue work alongside, like the adjusting and such. And that's what I would like to do is like, where you're, getting those muscles worked out of your neck, not just popping it and all that stuff, really just kind of getting in there. And because I always have issues with my shoulder blades. My shoulder blades hurt. And I try to have one of those like impact massage guns, and I use it. Chandra can't use it. Her hands aren't strong enough to use it on me. She bought it so she could help rub my back because her hands are too weak. Really, she doesn't have the dexterity and the strength in her hands to rub my back the way that I need. And so she got me this impact thing, and I ended up using it on myself. And it's like, I mean, the benefit of that is I can get where I need to, but the fact is that it feels better when somebody else does it. I mean, it's just that there's that component to it. So I would love to find a chiropractor who's also like a massage therapist who knows how to do the soft tissue work. But I think those are few and far between. So, you know, well, I stopped seeing them. I stopped. I mean, I went like 2 or 3 times. They were charging me like 70, $80 a visit. And I was utilizing my health savings account. And I was like, okay. But I mean, every time I'd go, it was just like pop, pop. And then it would be like, put me on this little table. The table would just kind of knead my back. And I'm like, that's not doing anything for me. I didn't feel any better leaving than I went in. And I was paying $70. So I stopped going. I just stopped because I was like, and maybe he just didn't care because I'm a guy, or he just didn't need me, or what, he didn't need me as a client, whatever. That's how it is. And I was very disappointed, and it's kind of soured me as far as chiropractic work. Like I said, it's not so much like I have like limited range of movement in my neck. Like that's as far as I can move my neck over that way and that way. And yeah, I would love to be able to find someone who's competent and thorough. But, you know, I don't want things adjusted that don't need it. Mine has a PT background too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At least the first time going in, check everything. See what needs to be adjusted, see what doesn't need to be adjusted. I think if you're the first time going in, you would think that they would kind of adjust everything to kind of see what a baseline is. You would think. And maybe he was better than I thought, but he would just pop my neck, but he didn't really explain anything. And, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he was, I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was getting the care that at least give me, like, he would spend like 5 minutes with me and I was giving him like $70. You know, Cindy says she's never been to a chiropractor, leery about anyone cracking my bones, especially having had osteoporosis. Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's definitely something to consider too. I've been on and off since I was 12. I was in a car accident with a truck flipped over, and I was riding in the bed of the truck. That was a thing that we used to do back then. I remember my grandma's boyfriend taking me in a truck that he had from where they worked. It was miles, and he had me in the truck, the bed of the truck, on one of those like one of those lounge chairs from like the beach, the ones where you kind of like straddle and lay down on. I rode that in the back of the truck all the way down the highway. That's where the 80s were. That's how the 80s were. And I don't know when that happened to you, Shauna, but I'm sorry that that happened to you. But us growing up was wild. It was wild. Lawn darts and no seat belts and all that stuff. Kids today don't know. We never had helmets. My x-rays always look like my head is sitting on my left shoulder. Oh, goodness gracious. Next Sunday, Fraser History Museum, $14 a ticket. Some of my guild members being spotlighted in a book that is 2 to 3, and the rest of the time it's going to be explore the museum, then steak at Jeff Ruby's. That's pretty cool. I'll have to look up and see what the Fraser History Museum is. That'll be pretty neat. So you were in the 6th grade the year before I was born. So you were in the 7th grade the year I was born. Well, I was born in June of 1979. Uh, Shander and I are 19 days apart. She's an older woman. She's 19 days older than me. And I always tell her, I'm like, I love you, older women. Yeah, I'm dumb. It's fine. Shauna, you are not old. Well, I would say anybody is only as old as you feel. I'm 44. I'll be 45 this year, and I still do not feel like an adult. I don't feel like a grown up. Like when I'm doing adulting things, I'm like, why are you taking me seriously? You should not take me seriously. I am not a grown up. Uh, I did share, so just as a reminder, I did share Nadia's channel in my community tab. I shared her first video, her first carnivore challenge video. And again, that's where she outlines that this is more of a commitment to her than a challenge, which I thought was a huge, huge thing. Very well, a very awesome way to put that. So take a look at that, and I will, once this video is done, I will put her video stuff in the description. So anybody else who's interested in finding her channel can find it if you've got this far into the video and you're watching it after it's live. So, yes. Oh my goodness. So my brother came over last night and I made him some food. So I do all the cooking and I do all that stuff. So I mean, I do that fasting. The only super difficult to do, like the only thing I find difficult when I'm cooking is to not lick my fingers when I'm fasting. That's like I have to make sure I've got a towel or paper towels always with me to wipe my hands so I'm not licking my fingers. And I'm sure it wouldn't be the end of the world, but it's definitely something that I still have to keep tabs on, right? So I was making, my brother came over and he wanted food. So I made him I'm trying to get him on the keto train. I'm trying to get him on the low carb train. He's got some weight to lose. He's got some health issues. He knows how to do it. He's done it before. And I just, and I can't push and shove him, but when he comes over, I can feed him the right way. Uh but I did make him some, I put some of these GFS hot dogs in the air fryer for him. I love the GFS hot dogs. Freudian slip there. I would love some corn dogs. But they're jumbo hot dogs. They're 1 gram of carb each. I think they're like a fifth of a pound because there's 5 hot dogs in a pound. Um, so they're nice. They're decent sized hot dogs. They're not like the Costco jumbo dinner Frank size, but they're like in between the normal hot dog size and that size. But they're 1 carb, at least per the nutrition information. 1 carb. Um, Relatively clean ingredients, 4 hot dogs. I made him 4 of those, and then I made so I took a tortilla with some shredded cheese, garlic, pepper, and put some of this spicy brown mustard that I have. And then when the hot dogs were done, I put them on the middle of that and I rolled them over so like the tortilla was crispy, the cheese was melty, and it was rolled over for him, and he was able to eat those. Made him 2 of those, so 2 hot dogs each. Yeah, I'm just trying to make sure that he understands that eating healthier is not necessarily so restrictive. Um, I mean, he doesn't. Again, I'm trying to get him to get a refrigerator. He doesn't have a refrigerator at his house right now, even though he's renting. But when he rented the house, there was like they rented it to him without a refrigerator, so it was him that needed to get the refrigerator. He had one for a while, then it went bad, and he's trying to get one. And his friend has one, but they just, for whatever reason, never can make it work to get it cleaned out and get it to him, which is irritating to me because the longer he goes without a refrigerator, the longer he's going to go without having groceries and keeping himself on track, and he's not going to be eating the way he should. So I need to reach out to his friend and be like, look, I know you're busy, but my brother needs your help. But anyway, John, thank you so much for being here. Have a good rest of your day. Be safe, take care, and we'll see you soon, buddy. I'll see you on Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you make it. I'm always glad you're here. You're always welcome, sir. Thank you again. Um, yeah. So he came over and hung out and we watched some TV and you know how it goes. It's always good to get a chance to spend time with him. Shannon was at work, and so it was nice to have somebody come and hang out with me. So, I mean, like I was telling Matrey yesterday after our live was over, I was like, I got to do this because I get lonely during the day. Not necessarily not like oh, woe is me lonely, but like I have stuff that I need to do around the house. So being by myself is probably for the better because if someone's here, I'm going to be distracted. I'm not going to be getting as much stuff done because I'm already distracting enough to myself. So. Oh, and Bob was talking about Bob. I missed a comment from Bob. Bob said he's 78 or 76. I apologize, Bob. 76 We're not done with you yet. No way, no how. Oh, and we do have I need to look this up again. We do have the Indie Keto meetup in process in the works. I think we have a date locked down. Um let me go back and check this out. Let me see. I'm always looking through my text messages. I can never find what I'm looking for. I text way more than whatever ever I think I do. Let's see. Saturday, May the 18th is the date that we have booked. So start looking at your calendars, start making arrangements so you can make it to Indy for the 18th to have a keto meetup. We are solidifying, trying to get an understanding of what it is that we want to do. We may kind of go towards us providing some food, and anybody who shows up can bring a dish, kind of like a pitch in type thing we did in October. That was a really nice thing. Um, it's a good way for community to get together, everybody to kind of bring something, bring a dessert, bring a dish, do whatever. Um, we really just want to hang out. We'll probably have minimal giveaway stuff, minimal things like that, more focused on just getting together, spending time together. Um, because those days are such a whirlwind anyway. It's like as soon as it starts, it's over. So yeah, so we'll be working on that. Hopefully, looking forward to seeing so many of your beautiful faces. Cindy, a birthday party for me 6 days after May 18th. How sweet. Your birthday is after that. You know what? I'll get you a little birthday hat for May 18th. Okay. I'll get you a little birthday hat. We'll sing to you. Maybe phone in Rachel from Two Crazy Ketos and see if she'll sing to you that day. Whatever we can do. That's one thing I do. I do look forward to Rachel singing to me on my birthday. I don't know why, but I think it's cute. And I get excited about someone singing to me for my birthday. My birthday is in June. I'm a size Sony and camera if you're interested. Uh, Sounds like a plan. My plans always revolve around how my hubby feels. He has MD. Muscular dystrophy? Is that what that is? We have the same birthday? Like legitimate? The best birthday ever? So legitimately I have the best birthday ever because it's exactly 6 months from Christmas and my birthday. They were 6 months apart to the day. June 25th to December 25th. Because like if your birthday's too close to Christmas or your Christmas is too close to your birthday, you're going to get gypped. Now you have equal opportunity to find exactly what it is that I need for my birthday. Again, I said I am a size Sony and camera, size all inclusive, vacation and Disney. Those are just my sizes. I'm willing to take other things too, but that's just me. That's crazy, crazy. Anthony Bourdain had my birthday too. I really liked him a lot. Laugh out loud. Mm. Mm. That is so crazy, Cindy. I know you've told me, but like, I don't know why. Like, my brain just doesn't retain stuff like it was. Son was born in 1982. I'm born in 1979. The best year ever because I was born. Because before that, it was before Dustin, and it was after Dustin. You know, BDAD. You know what I'm saying? Ugh. One thing that I notice when I'm doing my fasting is I'm not thirsty, and I probably should drink more water than I do. Um, but like at night, I get so thirsty at night before bed, but I haven't been, and I have to remember to drink water. I don't know what it is, but I just not as thirsty. So yeah, but I'm sure that's for different reasons, Shauna. Yeah. Oh. All right. Are you enjoying your coffee? You enjoy sitting here talking with me? Oh. It's Noah's birthday today? Oh, I'll have to reach out to Noah and wish him happy birthday. I hope he's doing good. I hope that that Ready Set's doing good. I haven't seen much of them. I don't think they put out much content. I did reach out to James yesterday to let him know, hey, I'm thinking about you. Um, with that, when I don't hear from them, when I don't hear from somebody after a while, I kind of want to reach out to them. Um, whether it's because of content or people that I talk to on a regular basis. I worry about my friends. I worry about you guys. Um, that's just, I mean, that's where I'm at. I worry about all of you. So like when I don't hear from someone, I'm not seeing consistent videos, or at least videos that they're normally doing, then I start to worry, how are you doing? What's going on? All that stuff. Jasmine is here. Thank you so very much for joining us today. I appreciate you. Air frying Annie. Miss Shauna says she'd rather be asleep. So you're like me, I'm the reacher outer. I'm not the best at reaching out. Oh, that sounds fun. I wasn't invited. Rude. Um, I'm not the best. So I try to reach out to people as much as possible, but I'm also a person like I kind of get lost in my own thoughts in my own world. But then when I sit down at the phone and I sit down on my phone and I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, I start to wonder, who I haven't seen, or I'm looking through YouTube or Instagram or like just text messages and such. I start to think about, who haven't I seen? Who haven't I heard from? And I mean, and as we get older, we go longer and longer without talking to, our friends. When we're younger, our friends are kind of the end all be all. They're everything. You see them as often as possible. You're more likely to go out during the week. You're more likely to see them all the time. But um, as we get older, that time between friends and seeing them and talking with them kind of gets more and more, longer and longer, fewer and farther between. That doesn't mean you're less, doesn't mean you don't care about them. It doesn't mean that you're less friends or whatever. It just means that life starts to get in the way. And I try to make posts. I try to make, you know, people feel included. And I try to make sure that people understand that I am thinking about you. I do care about you. We all have things going on and we all have things in our lives that kind of prohibit us from being in constant contact. But I always like tell people, if you know me and we are if we're in a relationship where you can contact me, if you have my phone number, if we're friends on Facebook, if you are on my Instagram, I respond to messages. You can reach out to me at any time. I'll talk. Ask Shauna. Shauna will message me about something and I'll talk to her for like 10 minutes. Anybody who reaches out to me. Maitreya will text me and I'll talk to her. Jen will text me and I'll talk to her. I will make time. I'll make time for all of you as much as I can. The one thing about texting is I don't have to necessarily stop everything that I'm doing to talk to you. I can do what I'm doing while we're talking, and that's nice. But I mean, anybody who reaches out, I'm always willing to talk. If you're having an issue, if you're struggling, I just want to make sure that everybody understands that you're not alone. There is a community. We all have people. Find your buddy. If you don't have a buddy, I'll be your buddy. We all need buddies. Keto buddies, carnivore buddies, you know, consistency buddies. Buddies are going to help. If you need somebody to push you, find a pushy friend who will push you. Let's see. Shauna says that she talked to her cousin this week. Haven't seen her in a few years. Yeah, I don't see like most of my family. I don't see like I have I have two cousins that live in town. I don't see them very often unless it's some kind of family event. I have an aunt and uncle. I don't see them. I have cousins. I have a cousin and her husband and their three kids. They live out in Virginia. I only see them if there's something either really nice going on or really bad going on, like a funeral or like a wedding, or like sometimes they'll come in town for holidays. But I don't see a lot of that. Like my family is spread out. Shander's family is spread out. We have to bug our kids to come over. I do see our daughter every day in the morning for a minute or two when she drops off the granddaughter. We have the granddaughter, and then her fiance comes and picks her up from our house. Um, and then we try to get our boys to come over at least once a week. They came over Thursday night and played. Our two boys and our bonus boy came over and we played Rummy Cube. That's a fun game. I love it so much. It's a fun game, but I need to play it more because my brain is like in slow mo. I'm like, I don't know how numbers work, but Jen, I'm going to talk to Shander and see if maybe she will, if she'll green light me going to that, because I kind of maybe need that because it's going to be a while before we get to kind of go. And I guess it also depends on weather. But on a Saturday, because I'll be able to go after I talk with Goody. So it all depends on what time you guys are meeting up and what time things end with Goody or Logan Delgado. Again, I will be talking with Logan Delgado on Saturday morning, 9 a.m. my time, 8 a.m. his time, because he is in Central. He's in Texas. Super looking forward to talking with him. He's one of the people that I've been looking forward to talking to for a long time. And we do communicate here and there on Instagram and stuff like that, but it'll be kind of nice to get a chance like face to face and talk with him. But I will come along if I have the permission, but we'll see. I have to confirm it with the boss. Money's tight as you know. So even if I did go, I wouldn't be able to buy anything. But I don't really care to buy anything. I just want to hang out with all y'all. Listen, all y'all, it's a sabotage. Anyway, meet us there. We're going to lunch too. We'll find out where and let you know. Okay, yeah, find out. Let me know what time you guys are meeting up at Jungle Gyms, because like I said, from 9 to 10 or 11, I'll be talking with Goody. I doubt it'll probably go more than an hour and a half, depending. I mean, I don't know, we may get chatting and go longer. And then I'd have to drive 2 hours to get to Cincinnati, 2 hours or whatever to get to Jungle Gyms and then go out with you guys. So Diane Bailey is in the house. Thank you so very much for being here. We do appreciate you very much. I am glad that you are here and joining us and up early in the morning. Shauna says, I have a few groups as part of my life: church group, scrapbooking group, keto groups, friends from all places. And I've lived groups, coffee group. Oh, and my family. That's the thing, is we need support from all kinds of places. So whether you're keto, carnivore, whatever, you've got this community. But this community is always enough. I have friends and community people that help me with YouTube, that help me with other aspects of my life, because there's always things, and like you need to find people who understand what you're going through, or what's going on. Like I have Shander. She's a huge part of my support system. I mean, and that's what a spouse is supposed to be. A spouse is supposed to be, someone that you lean on in the toughest and best of times, who understands you better than anybody else, understands you better than you understand yourself. So I'm extremely fortunate to not only have all of you, but some other communities in my life that are there. I can ask questions. I can kind of get, reassurance. I can get all of that. And then I have, Shander, my support system here. So, and a granddaughter who tells me that she doesn't love me because she's 5 and I didn't let her have the candy or whatever she wanted. But, let's see. If you've ever seen Rocky Mountain Girl and HA and Hungry Heath, she and I met in the 90s in a chat room on AOL and have been friends ever since. We now have keto in common. I still have friends that I've met from. So a friend of mine that texted me here, I met him on AOL in the 90s. I have a lot of friends from AOL in the 90s that I still talk with and I'm friends with on Facebook. I was one of those big AOL people where I would go out of state and meet people. They're like, don't meet people from the internet. That's how you're going to get killed. And I'm like, let's get in the car and go. Like meeting all kinds of random people on the internet. I mean, luckily I was the guy. So, I mean, I had good intentions and, it's what it is. Met lots and lots of people from the internet over the years. And I'm still friends with a good amount of them today, which is crazy to think about. Like, AOL, like I got AOL in 96 when it went unlimited. Because for a long time, AOL was billed by the hour. So if you were on for an hour, you got, were charged whatever per hour. Then they went unlimited and went on that campaign where they were sending out CDs to everyone and their mom. Even if you were a member, you got 15 CDs a day from AOL, to the point where no CD manufacturer was making anything but AOL CDs for a while. So keep that in mind. The AOL, ASL. It's so weird to reminisce about that, like thinking about chat rooms. But if it wasn't for AOL, I wouldn't be able to type. I took typing class and I was terrible at it. So bad at typing class. Now I can type like 60 to 80 words a minute because of AOL chat rooms. Because if you couldn't keep up, then you just were lost in the conversation. No one knew what you were talking about. Depending on, I'd be in all different kinds of chat rooms having a good time. Sometime soon, supposedly this month, I am to meet my oldest half brother I found with 23andMe. We share a birth father. That's amazing. How do you feel about that? Like, I haven't done 23andMe, but I know that like a friend of mine went and did some of a friend of mine went on this kick and she was kind of doing people's family trees. And she kind of went back and I found out that on my grandfather's side, like my great 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 grandfather was married to a woman who was a kid on the Trail of Tears. And that was like mind blowing for me because you don't really know, like, especially now that my mom, my grandma, my great grandparents are all gone, there's not a lot left. I don't have anybody left to ask questions. I can't ask any questions. I have boxes and boxes and boxes of pictures in our garage that I got when we were cleaning out my grandma's apartment, moving her in with my aunt. Thousands and thousands and thousands of photos, and lots of people I have no idea who they are. I mean, some people I can speculate, but I have no idea. You know, but I'm very nostalgic, and and Shanna doesn't like the fact, and she calls me a hoarder, but I don't like getting rid of things like pictures and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that I've tried, that she's gotten rid of over the year, um, like plates and stuff like that. I'm like, well, we don't need it, so it's not really that big of a deal. We've had yard sales and stuff, and they'll leave me out of it because they want to sell stuff. But I'm okay with that. But it's like the pictures and there's little things that I want to keep that were my grandma's or my mom's or things like that. And I'm sure that we're all sort of that way. And you don't have to do that, Jen. Um, you know, that's I appreciate you so very much. I just want hugs. If I'm able to go, hugs it'll be. Yes, Cincinnati, Ohio. I'm 2 hours. Like it's almost like exactly 2 hours from my house to Jungle Jim's. Yeah. That's the thing is like it's so very important. I mean, I think it's paramount. I don't think we survive without it. That's why I mean like these talks Saturday, Sunday, Tuesdays are so important for me because I can put out videos and I can put these videos, my thoughts into the world, but without the comments, without people coming in the chats and talking with me, it's not worth it. I mean, I know well, okay, I take that back. it is worth it because any content that I try to put out, I try to put out things and how I'm feeling and things that have, a part of my journey. And I want hopefully someone to find it who is struggling and needs that information. But the interaction, the engagement, the camaraderie, the community, and everything that comes along with that, all of you wonderful people in this chat, the people who come, the people who go, people who just come in and say hi. Shauna, you're up at like 5 a.m. or whatever time it is for you. I don't know what time it is there. It's somewhere in that name. I don't even know what time it is for me. We've been on here about an hour and 20 minutes. But yeah. Jasmine says she's not far there. Not, I'm not sure if Jasmine's a woman or not. I apologize. But wow, I'm not far from there. I'm not that far. I'm 2 hours. Now we order strangers and cars to take us places. Well, I mean, that's the thing is like I was doing DoorDash for a while. Probably should start doing it again and see if it was as bad as it was. But I mean, I think Uber is a great thing. Uber's a great thing. Uber gives somebody work. I think that whole gig economy thing is pretty fascinating because, especially for me, because trying to fit a job with the schedule that I have, where to meet the requirements of it, what we have to do in our life, and for me to be present. I think I took for granted so long with the job that, I mean, I had to have a job, but I mean, the idea that I had a job where I was working 40, 50 hours a week, Monday through Friday, sometimes Saturday, you forget the fact that you're not there as much as you think you are. I would leave in the morning before, the kids were going to school. So I wouldn't see anybody all day. I would get home. I was interacting with people at work more than I was with my own family. And then I would get home just in time to be like, do your homework, do the dishes, let me cook dinner, maybe enjoy maybe a little family time before it's off to bed to do it all again the next day. Or I think something like a gig economy allows you to fit work in around your obligations of family, friends, community, instead of fitting your family, friends, and community in around the obligations of a job. And I think that's kind of the future where we're going. And I think people are very skeptical of AI and a lot of those things that may take people's jobs away. But I think in the long run, I think we're going into a place where we can dictate our lives better. Hopefully, this is the optimistic look that I have, that we can look at and enjoy the time we have on this planet, because time for humans is fleeting. Our time here is fleeting. It's an eyelash in the grand scheme of things, not even. So, being able to prioritize family, community, self over a job obligation and still be able to make ends meet and make a living is paramount. And I think we're just kind of at the beginning of what that's going to look like. Hopefully, we can get things in order to where places like DoorDash, Uber Eats, Uber, Lyft, and other things. There's like Amazon Flex and things like that, where if you want to work 4 hours here, 2 hours there, like I could go out with DoorDash, go work for 2 hours, come home, do some stuff, go back out again and work for a few more hours. Where if I were to get a full time job, I would be there 8, 9 hours a day, every day, same time, and have you know even I was lucky with some of the last two jobs I've had with flexibility. You could flex, so I could work 10 hours on Monday to work 6 hours on Tuesday, but I was able to flex so many hours a week or so many hours a month. But that's not the flexibility that I think we're moving into, to where I've been extremely fortunate to spend so much time with my granddaughter, with my wife. We spend almost 5 days a week together, and she's not tired of me yet. That's amazing. So, along with YouTube, the gig economy, all these things, I think there's a lot of valuable things going on that I think that we're kind of afraid of. But I think it's going to be. I think the future's brighter than we think, especially with this year coming into play, where there's a lot of negativity. We're going to be barraged with negativity this year. This year is going to be a lot of sky is falling. We're never going to make it. Humanity is doomed. But I think humanity is stronger than that. I think humanity's seen a lot worse in our history. And I think we're better off today than we've ever been. And I think because of that, it is harder to see the forest for the trees. And I think we have to really, really dig deep and look at the positivity and look at everything going on and realize that we may not be as divided as we seem. Sure, there's a lot of dividedness going on right now. There's a lot of political and social and things going on that we're all up in arms about. But realistically, at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're all the same. And I know right now we're really trying to focus on our differences. We all want to stand out. We all want to be recognized for our individualities, as we should. But at the same time, we are one. And if we're not one, we fall. We can't succeed. So I am very optimistic about the future. I'm probably one of the very few people that's optimistic about the future. But I think, regardless of the negativity that we are coming into in this next year, that will pass, regardless of the outcomes. We just have to work together to not allow that divisive stuff to interfere with our daily lives. We have to look past it because we have to realize that part of it is us being manipulated because we're not as strong divided. Together we stand, divided we fall, and that's how it is. We have to work together and we have to see through a lot of that stuff. And I know that that's more political than I like to get, but I think optimism is one of those things that I am very big on. And I try to be a person that tries to look through the bullshit that is a lot of stuff that's going on right now that we're all terrified of. And I think because we allow that to scare us and we allow that to divide us, we forget to work together because we're not as different as we seem. We all have our own personalities. We all have our own likes, dislikes. We all have the people we support, but we can't forget that we're all really the same. It doesn't matter who we are, where we come from, what our religions are. It doesn't matter. We're all the same. And our individualities are what make us beautiful, but being human is what makes us the same, and we have to stick together. So I don't want to get all mushy and whatnot, but yeah, AOL by the minute. Yeah, that's why I didn't get a chance to get it because I got a computer and then we got a modem, 14.4 baby. And then when it did happen, then you were like struggling to get logged on, and then they'd be like, "Are you still there? Are you still there? Are you still there?" Like every 15 minutes. And that was the funny when I first saw that with like Netflix. I was like, I thought it was hilarious. Let's chat, Shauna. I'm interested in hear how she felt. Lately, finding few folks around my area living the lifestyle. Pretty cool. There's a lot of people in the Ohio area. A lot of people in the Cincinnati, Ohio area. There's Columbus. There's Dayton. There's a lot of people in that general area. Even people kind of further up towards like getting up to, um, I can't think of what it's called right now, but there's a lot of people in Ohio. If you're in Ohio and you're near Cincinnati, shout out in the comments. Yeah, that's the thing. Like the people will never understand that modem sound. Cindy, she loved AOL back in the days, waiting on dial up. I lost contact with my father at the age of 16. 23 years later, I located him. Really, only good thing was reconnecting with my younger half brother. My father is not good at communication. One thing that I find is that humans aren't very good at communication. Even when we think we're good at communication, we're not. Because Shane and I will watch a lot of TV shows, and I find that a lot of times, like most of the problems or the drama that comes up in our TV shows is lack of communications, people not being able to be honest with each other. And that's one thing I worry about. I try to be honest and talk with Chandra, like, you know, I try to tell her everything going on. I fail sometimes because I am human and I'm not the best communicator because, you also get into a situation where you don't want to upset them or you don't want to have a fight. You try to avoid things, but you got to rip the band-aid off and you just got to communicate. That's why, I mean, I'm not in touch with my own father very often. I know where he is. I know how to get in touch with him, but it's a two-way street. He doesn't try very hard to get in touch with me and I'm his kid. He should be the one that is interested in being around me. He says he is. He'll tell me every once in a while, I need you in my life, but he doesn't make effort. He doesn't make effort. And like I said, I know it is a two-way street, but he's never made the effort. Even when I was a kid and I was not able to make an effort, he never made the effort. When I was 2, 3, 5, 10, 15, he didn't make the effort. So at 40, why should I make the effort? I've tried to have him in my life and it was just drama. I don't need drama. So if he wants to be in my life without drama, then that's cool. But it's whatever. Anyway, anxious, it's surreal, watching a movie and reading a book. So yeah, so Jasmine's in the Dayton area. There's a lot of people between Dayton, Columbus, and Cincinnati in these groups, YouTube channels, all that stuff. So there's plenty of support in your area. 5:50-ish now. Been up for almost 2 hours. I try to go back to sleep since 3 a.m. Crazy. All right. Yeah, she's female, lives about 45 minutes from Cincinnati. Awesome. 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 Yeah. I don't know whether or not I will be in Jungle Gyms next Saturday or not. But I will be communicating with those involved. I don't know if you've ever been to Jungle Gyms. We went on a holiday Monday and it was a mad house because that was one of the times trying to get Chandra out because she works every Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, we'll see. Brenda's 2 hours from Cincinnati. Cindy's 2 hours from Cincinnati. I'm 2 hours from Cincinnati. I've had a lot of shoulder pain while reorganizing the last few days. Sleep has not come easy. I have that too. Like sometimes I'll wake up and my this shoulder will be bothering me. So I try to roll over on this shoulder and I just can't get comfortable. And I end up rolling over back on this shoulder. I'm like, ah. And I wake up and I'm like, my back. Oh, I need someone to rub on it. Yeah. Yeah. Go bowling. Cindy's a big bowler. I hate laying in bed if I can't sleep. The moist heat pad on my shoulder, infrared heat on my hand, unless I'm typing. We've got a heated blanket. I don't know. I would love to have a sauna and infrared and a cold plunge and all these things that I want to get eventually. Says I love the time you're spending with the girl. I helped raise my niece, nephews. She will never forget it. I hope not. I live and die with that girl. I get up in the morning and I make her breakfast, and then I have to fight her to eat it because she would rather do anything and everything besides eat. Play in the sink in the bathroom, color, play with Play-Doh, run around like a crazy person. I make her food and I have to bargain with her to make her eat. So it's a daily struggle to get that girl to eat food. She's super skinny, she's strong, she's skinny. And I'm like, you need to eat protein. I don't need to eat protein, Pa. Okay. Hoping that it gets better, Shauna. Yes. I want Shauna to feel good. Sorry about that. So we're all talking to Shauna that she needs to feel better. Currently 33 in California. It was snowing. It's snowing here. Do you want some snow, Shauna? Is that what you want? You want some snow? I can make arrangements and send you some snow, Shauna. Yeah, send you some snow. About 3 or 4 feet of it. I bet you would love that, wouldn't you? I've been diagnosed with the thoracic outlet syndrome. Everything squeezes at my neck and I get pain and numb. Oh, that's good. Well, not good, but you know what I mean. Agree with me? Are you? I'm not sure. I may need to increase the frequency of my appointments. I drive an hour to her, go once a month. Yeah, that's the thing. There's a place called The Joint here, and I guess they have a subscription. It's like $70 a month. You can go 4 times, so once a week. That would be nice. I just got to come up with the $77 a month. I don't have an HSA account anymore. I mean, I still do. There's like $60 in it, but yeah, I don't have that kind of thing going on anymore. Kumbaya. I'm not a very hippie type person, but I'm a very much we need to work together for survival type person because we're definitely not going to make it if we're all at odds with each other. We're definitely not going to make it. We have to work together. We have to be one. We have to. Otherwise, we don't make it. And we have to stop and think, why are we being divided? Why are we so easily divided today? Why are we so at each other's throats today? Why? We have to work together. We just have to. We can't fall for that. We just can't. Good morning, Aaron. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Poor Dustin. 5 topics going on in the chat. I try to look through and see what's going on and see what actually stands out. That's why I like the QQQ for questions and all that stuff or topics makes a big difference for me. So if it's something you want to talk about or a topic you want to discuss, let me know that way. It makes it easier for it to stand out in the chat. So I'm not trying to interfere with you guys talking amongst yourselves. I wish I still had my parents to get a hold of. My younger son was not very close with his father. He always said he never calls. My son never called him either. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's a struggle. It is. I mean, so I know I am a better person because I grew up without him. And I know if he hears that, he would be upset about that. But that's just, I mean, even when I went down for my sister's wedding, she had me walk her down the aisle and not him. So I grew in the family that I grew up with positive male and positive female role models in my life. Men who taught me how to be a good man and women who taught me how to be a good man, be a good person, to be thoughtful, understanding, a lot of life lessons. And I'm very thankful for that. And I don't think I would be the person I am today if he was the primary role model in my life. So we have to kind of take that into account too. We can't just simply go, well, he was the person that initiated the process with my mom, and here I am. Because my mom was there every day. My mom did the hard work through all of her problems, through all of her shortcomings. She was there for me every single day, and he was not. Whether he wanted to be there or not, there was nothing stopping him from being in my life. He only lived across town. Yeah, he had a wife and 2 kids, but he didn't make the effort, and I'm better off for it. So I've said it. It's on record. If he ever finds this or watches it, that's what it is. I still have a spot in my heart for him because he is my father, but he's never made the effort. When I was a person that I wasn't supposed to make the effort, he didn't make the effort. When I was the person that should make the effort, I tried and he still didn't make the effort. So he's not capable of making the effort. So it is what it is. As much as I'm not necessarily a fan of that statement, that quote, that saying, I don't think there's anything else I could say on the matter that's more fitting. So I can't ponder it. I can't, I can't, be sad about it because I had a great upbringing. I had wonderful time with the family that I had. He wasn't a part of it. So it is what it is. When his father passed away of COVID, he was devastated. I'm sure I'll be, distraught. I'll be upset when he passes away, but I never knew him. Not the way that not the way a son should know his father. So, I mean, I'll mourn him when he goes, for sure. That's the kind of person I am. But it won't be as hard on me as when my mother passed. That was devastating. That was hard to come to terms with. You could make that trip. Come on, Shauna. Stop making excuses. Lynette's here. Good morning, everyone. I'm sitting down for my first meal of the day. Keep in mind, I've been up for 5 hours. I am so hungry. 18 hours fasted. That's amazing. 18 hours is a perfect fasting time. I don't know where I'm at now. I'm like 6 days into a 7-day fast. I don't know where I'm at fasting hours wise, but I am looking forward to eating. I love food. That's the hardest part about fasting is like I feel great, but I love food. I feel fantastic, but I want food. I love food. Eating is one of my favorite hobbies. I tweaked my shoulder this morning. It doesn't help that my dogs need to lie right on top of me and I can't move. This will be a multi-visit week with the crack house, aka chiropractor. Yeah. I've already sent it. It's in the mail, Shauna. I got a package in my PO box yesterday from Alabama. It is. I'm probably going to open it up on camera tonight. You'll see the video sometime this week of what's in the package. I'm not sure who it's from. There's a name, but I don't recognize the name. But it's a package. I'm not sure what it's from Alabama. I was hopefully going to get my Christmas card from Jen, but she said she had two people who didn't get their Christmas cards. So super bummed about that. But because I know she put a lot of work into that Christmas card. Cindy sent me a Christmas card. I got hers. It's on the fridge. I sent her a picture confirmation that I did receive it so she knows. Because anymore these days we get a lot of confirmations, but with the mail we don't. So I did send a picture of that to Sean or to Cindy so she knows. Yeah, I love getting stuff in the mail. I'm excited to see what it is. I have no idea what's in this package. So we'll see. Well, we didn't get a lot of snow, and I mean it was just like flurries this morning when I was getting Shane around to the house. So I pulled the car out of the garage and turned it on. I got her heated seats on, put her lunch and cups in there, and got her all ready to go. And yeah, it was cold. It was kind of sleety, but it wasn't bad. I mean, yesterday there was snow on the road, but I had to go to the post office before noon, and I had to clean off the car. That wasn't bad. It took me like 5 minutes, but so she says she pays $45 for an appointment. I'd like to do the $75 a month and get 4 appointments out of $75 if they're going to actually, provide me with a service that's beneficial to me. Like I need someone to go in and lift my shoulder blades up and just rub into there. Like one of the best massages I've ever had. I went to this massage place. My buddy took me there, and this lady was like on top of me, like with her elbows and her knees, and it hurt so bad. During the massage, not pleasant. After the massage, I felt like I was drunk. I don't know what she did to me, but I felt great for like a week or two because I was working at a warehouse at the time. Maybe I was working at a warehouse at the time. Maybe I wasn't. But when I worked at a warehouse, I used to have a friend of mine come over and give me bi-weekly massages because she was in school. So it helped her and I would pay her money. And so she would get the practice, the hours for her schooling. And I got a massage twice a month or twice a month. That was awesome. But yeah, so anymore, I just need, someone to go in and just my shoulder blades are always jacked up. So yeah. Radical Geek is here. I was wondering where you were, but I figured you might have slept in. It's Sunday. It's okay to sleep in. And I know that you've got a busy life going on, but I'm glad you're here. Thank you so much. I had a wonderful time talking with you yesterday. You know, I enjoyed it. You had a lot of cool stuff to say. A lot of things that I wasn't necessarily familiar with because I haven't got a chance to watch all your content or your origin story and all that stuff. Um, so I was really, really, really interesting, and I'm really glad that you were able to open up and talk with me and all that stuff and everybody else. I really had a great time. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Anybody who sits down and talks with me on a Saturday means the world to me. And I hope most of you will come on eventually if you haven't already, or come on again because time's going to keep on a rolling. We're going to have more and more time together. Thank you, Diane. Trey says, icy here, had to salt the walk and get some scraping of the car so I could get my kid. Yeah. I mean, it's not been bad. It's not been, I mean, I imagine it's probably going to get worse before it gets better. But we don't have to leave the house all that often. So, I mean, it's a lot better when like it snows on the day you don't have to leave. Those are my favorite days. Yeah, don't slip and fall. I would not appreciate that. My daughter-in-law just sent me a couple of pics of the snow they are getting in New Hampshire. No, New Hampshire. New Hampshire near Boston. I don't know. They're really good. I'm terrible at geography. I know they're up there, Maine and all that stuff in New Hampshire, Rhode Island, which is neither a road nor an island. But yeah. Courtney, thank you for being here, Courtney. I appreciate you so very much. How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. Hopefully, I do believe the Rowdies will be back on Thursday, live and direct, and not just reruns, but hopefully we'll be back with Wilco, Brian, and Mal and everybody in the crew talking about music and all that fun stuff, and hope to see you there. We need to get you on that show. Talk to Brian about it. I'm sure he'll be more than happy to have you on. I think you've been on before. Yeah. Thank you for being here, Courtney. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. You get that, Dustin, about role models. My son had me and many others instead of their father. Then my older son went to live with him at 14 and lived in Texas. Yeah, my dad, my father was like, I want to be in your life. I love you. And then like 6 months later, heard from me, he'd been living in Texas. Like, fail. Most any man can be a father. Not all men can be a dad. Yeah, I mean, it's easy to be a father. Just not to be graphic. In real life, I would have said something, but in here, I'm not going to. But yeah, not all men can be dads. And that was one thing that I've struggled with over the years because I'm a stepdad of three. I came into their lives when they were teenagers or coming up on teenagers. They weren't thrilled that I was there. They weren't thrilled that I was taking the place of their father, which I never once did. I'm not their father. I was always a major proponent of making sure they saw their father as much as they could, whether he would come and get them or I would drive them and pick them up every weekend or every other weekend, whenever their scheduled time was to see him. I would drive them across town because my thing was if he wanted to see them and they wanted to see him, I was going to make it happen because I know what it's like to not have someone in your life not want to see you because they can tell you they want to see you, but that doesn't mean it's true. And I dealt with that. I dealt with making plans and being ready and up and dressed and showered and ready to go to get picked up to go do something with my dad and him not show up or call. Too many times that happened to me. Too many times. So it's a wonder that I don't care now. I cared then. So you're getting a lot of insight on me and my psyche and my trauma. I don't talk about a lot of this stuff because I've moved past it, because it is, I mean, it's a part of who I am, and I embrace all aspects of my life. Whether it's, having the time with my great grandparents, my uncle, my mom, my grandma, anybody, anybody in my life that was a positive influence on me has far outweighed the negative impacts of a father who wasn't there. I had a stepdad who was there. My brother's father was there for me. He was the one that was like, let's go fishing. Let's go to the monster trucks. Let's go to Kings Island. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Let's go play basketball. Let's do this. Let's do that. He was the one that was there. Even he wasn't there. I mean, he was a weekend warrior, but he put the effort in more than my actual father. So there's that. So I've been so much time trying to find my birth father and just finally gave up. I met him once when I was 20, and he didn't want me then. Yeah, but Jen, you have and you are more than enough. I don't know a whole lot about the rest of your family, but I know you've got Brian. He's amazing. As far as I know, as far as I've been around, you've got us, and we care about you. And I know it's hard when the person that's supposed to love you and want you might say they do, but don't, or outright say they don't. It's devastating. But that's why we're here. And thank you for sharing that with us. That's not easy to talk about. It's not an easy feeling to even bring to the forefront of your thought enough to even type it out. And that means the world to me. Courtney says, I have so much to say on this subject, but instead I will say is I can relate because I got major daddy issues. I figured I would work out my father issues by trying to be a better one than he ever was, which isn't hard. It takes minimal effort to be better than he was. But I'm doing my best with my kids. You know, they're my kids. I didn't father them, but they're my kids. They're only kids I'm ever going to have. I love them. They mean the world to me. And I'm happy that I have them. I think I may be missing something here. It didn't sound like keto brick, and it wasn't listed as keto brick, so I don't know what it is. And it wasn't from Robert Sykes. It didn't have his name on it. So I don't know what it is. We'll find out tonight when we record the video if Shander's up to it. If anything, we'll record it tomorrow evening. But we'll open it and we'll find out what's in it. And as soon as the video comes live, my members will see it first. So all of you members, you'll see it first before everybody else. So I'm going to try to do that and release videos here and there for my members because it gives them a little something. I like it. I'm being less lazy about typing, but I'm here to watch still. Much love all. Thank you, Courtney. I appreciate you again. Like anybody who shows up and watches and spends time with me, that means the world to me. Let's see. I'm gonna try to get through these comments because we're coming up on 2 hours, and I want to make sure we are out of here before Autumn and Richard go live for their Saturday or their Sunday morning live. They go live at 9:30. So I want to make sure we get out of here before that. Um, so I've got maybe 5 minutes quickly here to get through here. Let's see. Yeah, chain chiropractor. Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna try. I need to. Just depends on if I can pull the funds together. No sleeping in, just work. Yeah, it's not bad. Just slushy. And like I said, I'm trying to get through these as quickly as I can. Everybody. I just injured myself falling 3 weeks ago Saturday. I think it's time to get up an MRI because I'm not healing. Oh, definitely get that checked out because you want to make sure that if you are healing, you heal the correctly and not heal incorrectly and cause more issues. Falling on ice, that's one of my biggest things. Like that's why I don't go skating because like falling now is hard. When we were kids and go skating, you could fall and get right back up. Cool. I fall now, there's gonna break something. I'm just too big now. I'm looking forward to seeing that the stuff you've got going on tonight. So be sure to tune in for Radical Geeks Live tonight. It's either 6 or 6:30. Check her channel for details. If you want to, Maitreya, drop the link for your channel into the comments. Anybody who wants their channels in the comments, drop those in. If you are or know a wrench, any wrenches, put any links in there. If you would be so kind, I appreciate that very much. Yeah, Maitreya, it's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to look at this and see what's going on. Step parenting is hard because they were ruthless to me. I would literally wake up to notes saying they don't want me here. Like 3-page notes, handwritten, colorful ink. It was rough. That's one of the hardest things to deal with. And I can't say that I was always the best. I mean, I had a lot of learning to do because I never really even been around a lot of kids. Coming in with 3 teenagers. So I think I did the best that I could, provided the circumstances and who I am. You are a dad of 3, not a stepdad of 3. Like Brian's daughter is my daughter, and my sons are sons. Well, I only say stepdad to a degree so people understand that I didn't father the children because Shannon and I have been together for 12 years and her youngest is 19. So I only say things like that as a clarification. They are my kids. But I always make sure that people are understanding because I try to be as transparent as I can because, people are like, oh, you've been with Shandra for 12 years and you've got a 19, a 24, and a 25-year-old and a 5-year-old granddaughter. How does that work out? But yeah, that's how that works out. I love hearts. Love hearts. These guys that don't step up as dads aren't worth your time and energy for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to get through these. Good morning, Christy. Thank you for being here. Wrench power activate. Let's see here. We're running in. And I'm trying to get this done before I have to end this. I'm trying not to run over. I need to figure out how to do a raid so everybody here would just go automatically over to her channel. I need to figure out how to do that. There's a thing you can do. You can make it to where like this live ends and just pops you over to theirs. I need to figure out how to do that. But anyway, I'm going to end this. I appreciate you all so very much. I missed a couple of comments, but Partners in Ketosis, thank you for being here so much. As we're ending, please head over to Autumn and Richard's channel on Watch Autumn Keto. They're going live in just a couple of seconds. So be sure to go over there, comment, let them know that you care. All that, give them all the support that you've given me today. Thank you so very much. I love you all. And we'll see you next Tuesday. Shannon and I will be live. Thanks so much again. I can't express the amount of gratitude and love that I have for all of you today. Thanks so much, and we'll see you again real soon.